Abbott and Costello were the biggest stars in Hollywood during the World War II era, with over 30 films produced between the 1940s and mid-1950s. For a while they were signed exclusively to Universal, but by 1948 they signed a new contract with the studio that allowed them to make one independent film per year, starting with The Noose Hangs High, followed by Africa Screams, the title being a play on a 1930 documentary film, Africa Speaks. Most anybody who's even the slightest fan of the duo is aware of this movie. It seems it's been released dozens of times by different studios, but with poor picture quality. So if this movie is no stranger to the public, then why hasn't it been taken care of and preserved? Well, it was shot at Nasser Studios and released through United Artists in 1949. A few years later, in 1953, an independent film distributor in New York purchased the rights to the film, but lost interest in it and never renewed them, thus leaving Africa Screams abandoned to the public domain by 1977, and we were left with 16mm scraps. However, by the late 1980s, film historian and archivist for the Abbott and Costello estates, Bob Fermanek, contacted the previous owner of the film and was able to collect the original 35mm composite nitrate fine grain. He saved the film by transferring it to analog 1-inch tape, then produced a special edition Laserdisc for Image Entertainment, where it was awarded 1988's Best Video Disc of the Year in the Best Supplementary Material category. Now that was a great achievement, but over time, this version of the movie was repeatedly copied and thrown into circulation by different distributors, causing the quality to just constantly plunge more and more. Until December 2019, when Fermanek called for a Kickstarter from 3D Film Archive to begin 4K preservation scans of the original and deteriorating 35mm elements to completely restore the film for an HD Blu-ray release. The goal was to raise $7,500 for the project, and it was met in 29 hours. They ultimately collected over $32,000 through 627 backers, and it was available by June 2020. And here it is, Africa Screams in its purest form. We've got scene correction, image stabilization, frame-by-frame dirt cleanup, flicker reduction, and tons of extra bonus features to go with it. But without even knowing any of that, the first thing that catches my eye and tells me this is the real deal is just the packaging itself. It's just so clean and crisp, the artwork, the disc, it's just so well put together. Bonus features include an audio commentary by Ron Palumbo, who actually co-authored Abbott and Costello in Hollywood with Bob Fermanek, which is known to be the definitive book on the making of their films, so it sounds like this guy has a lot of trivia to share. Next, we've got the Rubdown skit. This was the first of 3 stretch goals that they had attached to the campaign. Costing an extra $1,500 is a restored live television sketch from 1953. Bud and Lou only did this bit twice in their whole career, the other time being on their TV show. Lou Costello filmed Interview with Max Baer and Joe Louis on July 2nd, 1940, photo gallery, outtakes, and bloopers on the set of the film. At another $1,000, their second stretch goal that was achieved is a digitally restored 3D comic book, Abbott and Costello in Third Dimension, also from 1953 during the height of the 3D movie craze, even though Abbott and Costello never actually did a 3D movie. It also comes with a replica of the original Supersight 3D goggles. Clyde Beatty's Animal Thrills. Interesting fact, Clyde Beatty, being a real-life animal trainer, actually provided his own animals for the shoot. Which makes sense because, you know, with the lion taming scene, it would help that he's familiar with them. The final stretch goal reached at $500 is a digital broadcast master of an Abbott and Costello radio show with special guest Bela Lugosi from May 5th, 1948. That's a really neat one. That's fresh off of Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, which wasn't even released for another month. So it's a fun little episode with some cool promotion thrown in. And we have a couple trailers, the Cinecolor trailer for El Paso from 1949, and the Super Cinecolor trailer for Abbott and Costello's Jack and the Beanstalk from 1952. So overall, this is a very packed, highly recommended piece of Abbott and Costello history, and technically, it's still in the public domain to this day, but you would never know because this is the best it's ever looked, and this is without a doubt the definitive edition. Wait a minute, a trailer for Jack and the Beanstalk? That's weird because that's actually another public domain film from them. I wonder if... Yes!